It may be a case of all things are new in terms of IndyCar, but remembering its heritage and remembering, well, the best part of the split is always important. And with that, we welcome you to the first round of the 2018 Classic IndyCar Series from Homestead, Miami Speedway, the logical Classic IndyCar Series. It's going to be Will Vincent and Jack Stiles, and our coverage will start next. Welcome to Homestead, Miami Speedway, and welcome to the season opener of the Classic IndyCar Series here on RaceSpot TV, streaming live on iRacing Live and also on Facebook Live for the first round of the season. Will Vincent, along with Jack Stiles, out this fantastic place to start a start a racing season. 1.5 miles almost then is this racetrack, and it's got itself two 180-degree corners, and it's not like a normal oval here, Jack. This is a real oval.
It's a proper oval, and it's going to be a great place to open the season opener today. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Obviously, for those of you who've never seen the Classic IndyCar Series before, it's utilising the IR05. That's the first generation of IndyCar that we had here on iRacing, and it's still going strong in this series. We have 38 cars today for your entertainment, and the biggest grid the Classic IndyCar Series has ever seen in its history, and at the moment, well, it's looking up to be a great race.
Oh yeah, it really, really is, and we've been so excited to talk about this and think about this. You did a lot of work with Robert Grosser, the series administrator for the Classic IndyCar Series, who of course is also a racer here, currently in P number 4 in qualifying. We previewed some of the drivers, and there are so many storylines heading into the new season.
Robert Grosser is not only the admin of the series along with Lucas Laville, he's also the 3-time champion, and at the moment he has been undefeated in this series. Yeah, obviously myself, him and Lucas have put in a lot of work in the background. We had a season trailer edited by myself. It was awful editing, I know, but I can get there in the end. And we also had a pre-season show that we broadcasted a couple of weeks ago, Will, and that's all up on the Classic IndyCar Series YouTube channel, and there'll be more content up there as the season goes along in the form of podcasts. So hopefully we can get you involved in that as well, Will. And Robert, I mean, he's extremely excited to have the whole season on Racebot TV. It's the first time that's ever happened as well.
Yeah, it is, and it's going to be absolutely amazing. The entire series here on Racebot TV. Easton Ballard, thank you to him for TV cameras, overlay design, Andreas Warner, and on design. One of the cool things when I say that is I've got to remember the fact that Andy Warner has designed the helmet of Valtteri Bottas for the 2018 Formula One season. That's a great thing, and that's the partners we have here on Racebot.
I was actually flabbergasted when I saw that, and so excited to see that the guy who makes our overlays is also the guy who's designed a Formula One helmet, and it's an absolutely spectacular looking helmet, even the original design as well. And to see that in Formula One in real world motorsport, well, I think it's a great way to get names just like that out there.
Also, shout out to Simon Grossman, AppGenier.in, and Nick Thisson for Racebot TV live timing and scoring that will be available throughout the course of this event as well. Now, let's talk about qualifying, because Henry Bennett has got himself pole position here by 67 one-thousandths of a second over Matt Cook. And Matt Cook is a driver that has got a lot of heads turning here because he took a long, and I say a long, absence away from iRacing. He has come back, and the first place he has come back to is the Classic IndyCar Series.
He clearly has been away for a long time. Well, I've only been on the service for nearly 2 years now, and it's a name that I'd never heard of tonight. And I think he's definitely, by the end of tonight, is going to be one of the names that I know quite well. And it's great to see some of the new names in the series already up and running. We've got a few guys returning to the series after a bit of a break. We've got some rookies, and we've got some old drivers returning. And I'm pretty sure throughout the race we'll be going through your drivers and teams for the 2018 Classic IndyCar Series, boosted by Logical. Yes, it is. It is boosted by Logical, proud sponsor and a fantastic partner in terms of the Classic IndyCar Series as well. Now, you can check them out. They do a lot of work in terms of producing hardware for iRacing, those Logical, and they are a fantastic partner for the Classic IndyCar Series. Their hardware as well, it's great quality, and it's stuff that I've been looking at recently, and they've been a partner for last year, and they're back again for this year, and they support the series so well. We've also got Joel Real Timing on board for this year again, and also a new thing with this is going to be that at the end, myself and Will get to choose our driver of the day, and they will win a pro key for Joel Real Timing. Yeah, Joel Real Timing, of official partner as well, the Classic IndyCar Series. The rules for that one are simple. It won't be a Vortex Sim Racing driver, and it won't be a Banshee Autosport driver, because I've got history with Banshee Autosport, and of course you've got history as well with one team here in the field. That team is my own team, Will, and that's being represented by Benjamin Gregory at the moment in the number 13 machine. He's qualified 5th, and I can assure you he will not be getting Joel Real Timing, because I will be buying him Joel Real Timing. Yeah. Let's have a look through your starting grid then for this round number 1 of the Classic IndyCar Series of 2018. And it's Henry Bennett who will start on pole position here today in the 007 machine, qualifying time of 25.827. Matt Cook alongside him on that front row. Michel Constantini, we saw him in the Neo Endurance Series 24 Hours presented by Racebot TV. He's in 3rd place. Robert Grosser in P number 4. And then P number 5 with Benjamin Gregory. And then Joel Tremblay in P number 6. Andrew Wood in 7th. Lucas Laville from Vortex Sim Racing in 8th. Sasha Lamp in P number 9. And Vesa Yera Oyara, I think, rounds out your top 10. 11th is going to be Hans Pitkin, and alongside him is going to be Marshall Stanley. 13th is Matthew Molnar, and 14th is going to be Sam Cooper Bennett. 15th, Joshua Baird, and 16th is going to be Johnny Garrett, a name we know so well in this series, along with Randy Shoemake, who's going to be 17th. 18th is going to be Ryan Hellier, with 19th Michael Gerlicher, and rounding out your top 20, Franz Josef Sturm.
And then P number 21 will be Jan Hoffman. P number 22, David Costello. 23rd place will be Caton Bommersbach. Poor qualifying by him here today. Tom Nosvat then in P number 24. And running out your top 25 will be Klaus Peterson. Rest of your qualifying times coming up for you on your screen as we speak. And well, Homestead Miami Speedway, banking. It's a parabolic banking between 18 and 20 degrees. And that means that these drivers don't have to use the inside line. In fact, the inside line is the worst place to go here. So you've got to get it right. And that middle line will be key as the drivers are lining up now on the starting grid, getting ready to do their one pace lap before they go green flag racing.
One of the things I was speaking to Benjamin Greger, my driver, before I jumped in here, Will, was that he said that the lower groove just wasn't working for him. He much preferred the higher groove, and I think that's going to be transparent throughout the race. It's something that we saw at New Hampshire in the first round of Friday prime time in the IR18. It's just that the different grooves work for different drivers, and I think that's going to be a big thing in this race. Expecting a few cautions. It's the first race of the season. I think everyone's just going to be trying to settle down. We've got a big grid here. It's gone up to 40 cars now, Will, and it's absolutely humongous, and there are going to be guys out there who probably aren't used to racing in such a big pack.
Yes, and we've got a number of people that we want to pay attention to as well. Henry Bennett, of course, starting a pole position. He will be important. We've got Matt Cook as well. Michele Constantini. Well, Michele Constantini, as I said earlier on, he raced earlier on today in the Neo 24 hours. So he is doing double duty as the cars work themselves now through turn 2.
Robert Grosser also drove in the Neo 24 Hours for Logical Vortex in the HPD class, Will. So there are a few drivers out on this grid doing double duty. Another one is Sasha Lamp. He is a rookie to the series, driving for Torque Freak Racing, and he was driving for Samba Racing, I believe, in the Neo 24 Hours of Le Mans. So here we go, coming around to the start.
Here we are then, the new season of the Classic IndyCar Series. It's green, we've got a contact already. Big trouble, and Cook's involved.
That's a big accident there. Lots of cars involved. Looks like the 32 just got loose, the car of Andrew Wood, and there are some big names out at the moment. Some big names I've seen dropping through the field. One of them was your pole sitter and Winter Series champion of Henry Bennett, and it looks as though the big cars for me that have... Oh, actually, no. Has Matt Cook survived? We do not know, but there's a lot of cars involved in that incident.
Oh, that was a big one to start off this motor race. Let's go on board then with Matt Cook and show you that one again. Now the issue, it was your pole sitter. It was wasn't your pole sitter, a third place driver that was involved in that one. And, well, Cook had nowhere to go. Your field, I will have to say here, Jack, was very good at slowing it back down immediately. But Cook was involved from P number 2. Replay here again. It was your pole sitter. It was Henry Bennett that was involved in it.
Uncharacteristic mistake there from Henry Bennett. He's so good in these cars. He took the CIS Winter Series that they held, and that 007 car's already got quite a lot of damage on it, Will, and I don't see how he can come back from that. A lot of drivers have survived that incident at the start and made some good places up off it. Michele Constantini is going to inherit the lead. He was your 2017 Oval champion, so he is in a good position now, Will. But Henry Bennett made an uncharacteristic mistake there from him, and I just don't think he was expecting it to go like that. Maybe he just wasn't prepared for the start and took him a little bit by surprise.
These IR05 machines, and this is the third time that I'm going to, third thing that I remember. I remember a race at Texas Motor Speedway with ludicrous speed, and they all at Texas decided to spin it on a restart. I also remember my first ever IndyCar pole position at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, and I spun it at the start. You can do that in the IR05s because it's such a tough way of getting through the gears. That first gear, a lot of people don't realize how short that first gear is. If you put the throttle down in an IndyCar, you will spin.
I think you call it the, is it 9,000 RPM kill switch, Will?
Yep.
And as soon as you hit that in first gear, you haven't really got anywhere else to go other than the wall. And some big names already out here. Looks as though Lucas Laville is running right down at the back of your pack. He's down 27 positions on where he started, and it's going to be a long day for Lucas. He's finished second, I think, the last 2 years of this series, and he's going to be wanting to try and take home the glory. But this is going to be one of the most competitive seasons of the Classic IndyCar Series yet, and I am so excited for it.
Yeah, we're going to take a quick break here on Racesport TV on iRacing Live. Back with more after this. Are you ready for it?
Oh yeah.
Well, it's an interesting one right now here in the Classic IndyCar Series. 6 laps will be scored complete at the line. We had ourselves a caution to start this event. We're on board Michele Constantini. He is officially classified as leading this event. However, we are worried because Benjamin Gregory right now is classified ahead in terms of the racetrack. The yellow flag will stay out for one more time there.
I think they just keep throwing in the caution flag to make sure that everyone can get into the right position for the restart, and I definitely do agree that Michele Constantini should be at the front, and I think he will stay at the front at the moment. Just looks like everyone's starting to get ready for the restart, and they're just going to use as many laps as they need to. One thing that has been carried over to this year, Will, is we are limited again to 2 hours, and it's a 200 lap race or 2 hours, whichever one comes first. And we did have a couple of races last year that did go to the 2 hour limit, and looking at how many cautions we may have in this race, Will, I think we might see the same here at Homestead, Miami.
Yeah, but this is a racetrack that is designed to provide good racing, and of course 18 to 20 degrees parabolic banking we talked about before the start of this motor race, and we see 1 or 2 drivers then going past the pace car. They're classified as 1 lap down. Not anymore. Got a couple of drivers who are also just ahead of the iRacing pace car, as they work themselves. So I think we might be yellow for another lap or so.
I reckon so as well. I think everyone's just starting to get ready, just tightening those harnesses up in those cars and just getting ready to go again. And it definitely shows now that Michaela is behind the pace car and Benjamin Gregor isn't too far behind him. So everyone's now getting wave round sources. I'm just seeing a stream of wave rounds at the moment, Will, from everyone else.
Yeah, not to do a NASCAR on TNT, but we are going to step aside for one more minute. We'll be back with the restart after this.
And the caution's been thrown again.
Are the lights off on top of the pace car? No, not yet. So one more lap then. 2 more laps at least under yellow. An extended caution period here. The first round of the Classic IndyCar Series. Presented by Logical Engineering on Racebot TV. Boosted by Logical there.
Oh, yes, it definitely is. And it's good to see Logical back again for another season.
Yeah, so we're on board right now, Michele Constantini. He's leading the way. He was a driver at the front of the field when that caution came out. And we've got to talk about the fact that out front, we had ourselves, of course, Matt Cook involved in the incident. Matt Cook right now is still in the motor race, but he's down in P number 26.
I think the 2 big names to come out of that incident at the start, well, is Matt Cook, as you said, down in P26, and Henry Bennett, who is, I'm just trying to find his name in my timing and scoring, he's down in 33rd position at the moment, and he has got a long way to come back through this field. I have no doubt that he will make his way back up to the front, but that is a long way for him, and hopefully coming around next time we should be going back to green. I think the race controller just starting to do the last few preparations, and hopefully we will go back to green very, very soon.
And we've got 1 or 2 drivers coming towards pit road as well to top off on fuel. Henry Bennett in 33rd place right now. One of the things interesting, of course, is that because we've had such a long extended caution period, it will make the race closer to the time limit. And Henry Bennett in that 33rd place will have a long way to go as well. if you are Cook or Bennett, do you now start thinking about counting back from the 2-hour time limit, or do you still do it lap times?
I think until we get to about the hour mark, I'd say keep going on laps, because then you know how many more you have to do roughly. And as soon as you get to the hour mark, if we haven't hit the halfway mark by that point, you can just sort of think to yourself, right, okay, this is definitely going to hit the time limit, and that's when you start thinking about fuel to do with times. You should be able to do one more stop from there, and you should be able to time it right just to be able to get to the end on 2 hours as opposed to 200 laps.
Well, we remain under yellow here, and it is Michele Constantini, number 66 machine, in your lead, as it's Benjamin Gregory in second, Sasha Lamp in third, and Hans Pitkinen in fourth place, and Marshall Stanley rounding out your top five. Going to keep an eye out on the iRacing first safety car as it comes past the start-finish line. Will those lights go off there? That is a question that we want to have here, Jack, and, well, we have done essentially now 10 laps under yellow, and we're going to go off. So the lights are off in terms of the pace car right now.
Looks as though race control hasn't thrown the caution. And as it sounds like, yes, we're going to go green this time. Race control has just told the drivers that you've done so X amount of laps under caution and you're going to go green this time. So Michele Constantini is going to be leading the field away for the remainder of this 200 lap race.
Yeah, and this is the driver we saw earlier on today in the Neo Endurance Series 24 hours. So Michele must be tired right now in that 66 car, but he's looking to get a victory here today.
Michele must be knackered by this point, but I know he'll want that victory. He specialises in oval racing as opposed to road racing in these IndyCars, and I know last season he did ovals only and a couple of road races as well. This year he is going to be here for the full season, and he is going to be trying to go for championship glory. He's now coming through turn number 3. Single fire restarts, back to single fire restarts in this series, and let's see how people just get away under this first couple of laps.
Yeah, it is the Shell V-Power number 66 car. Anthony Morgan on the rear wing then as they work themselves out of corner number 4. Pace car on towards pit road, and finally we can go green flag racing once again here in the Classic IndyCar Series.
Michele slow on to turn number 1. Let's have a look. Benjamin Gregory is going to go to the lead. Well, I think Michele may have gone off too early. Looks like we've got the 9 car stopped as well. The only car that seemed to have had a bit of an issue. He's down onto pit road now. So at the moment, it looks as though Michele may have messed up the start a little bit there, Will, because he was slow onto the first couple of corners.
He was incredibly slow as behind. Look at the gaggle of cars going on right now. Pitkinen with Molnar, with Stanley, with Shoemake, all battling it out for third place on track as they come down into one, almost 3 wide then, in towards turn 1, and this is amazing.
2 wide, 2 deep, coming off of turn number 2. This is awesome racing. Here comes Sasha Lamp in the number 42 Talk Freak Racing Machine. He wants to get involved in this, and at the moment, Sasha's just waiting to see what happens. It looks as though they're going to go 2 wide between 3rd and 4th position. That's going to be Randy Shoemake and Matthew Moeller, and it just looks like Marshall Stanley is going to be waiting as well. Michele Constantini is going to be doing well. It looks as though, actually, Michele is going to be fighting with Benjamin Gregory to try and get that lead back. It's going to be 8 tenths, 6 tenths. They're going to go side by side coming off of turn number 2. Let's have a look. Ben's going to go high. Michele's going to go down low, and I think Ben might just have this done. No, Michele's just got a little bit more of overspeed there. Michele's going to go back to the lead, and he might try and push Ben up high. Yes, he is, and Ben, actually, they're going to go stay side by side.
As they work themselves through turn number 1 again, and Constantini at the inside line. You got Gregory on the outside line. Fantastic battle going on right now for your race lead, and this is why we love the Classic IndyCar Series, because of how these IR05 cars were designed to run on the ovals. Of course, we have got road courses in the Classic IndyCar Series, but this is where things are, and they're so close on the exit of turn 4, and Constantini keeps race lead.
Just looks as though Ben let him go coming off of 4. I don't think he really wanted to fight with Michele too much. Tried just to keep the tyres and keep the fuel in good sec, but he's not going to let him go. He's going to stay on his tail now. Big gap back to 3rd, about 1.5 seconds at the moment back to Matthew Moeller in 3rd, and it just looks as though the field's been really shaken up at the moment. Matt Cook as well, he's just going to be fighting with Andrew Adair Saunders. He's now back up to 22nd. Henry Bennett is still going to be down in P29, and it also looks like Yoni Cardigan's managed to get his way past John Elsweimer as well to get back into P number 13. Positions chopping and changing in the first few laps after going back to green, Will, and I think everyone's now just going to be settling into the groove. Just got a little bit of traffic at the 9 machine. Robert Waddle, he's going to be down to the inside, just letting everyone else go high.
Yeah, Cook is up a number of positions. Hans Pickenen, by the way, is down a position as it stands. So Matt Cook, of course, we started 26th, is now in 22nd position. So a big game by him. Have a look at Henry Bennett as well. And Bennett, of course, had a horrible situation from the start of this motor race. He is now in 29th place. He is in a gaggle of cars right now and has got the opportunity to gain more, but I would say for Bennett, he will gain one because the number 2 machine is up very high as they work themselves down the back straightaway once again, and Bennett will capitalize, although there is a lapped car and Bennett remains in 29th.
It just looks as though Henry Bennett is just trying to save some fuel, actually, Will. I wonder whether he's just trying to play the strategy game here, maybe trying to just hit a little bit later, get some clean air at some point. As you say that, he's going to go down to the inside in 1 on the car of, let me just find out who that is for you. That is going to be Ryan Hellier as well, and I think these two are just going to be, I think Henry Bennett will manage to get his way past through 3 and 4, but he is definitely going to be playing the fuel-saving game. Fastest lap of the race so far is going to go to Michaela Constantini at 26.381. Don't think anyone else has been in the 26.3s at the moment, and everyone just seems to be settling around the 26.5s as the fastest lap. John Elsworth has done the 26.4, but at the moment Michaela is definitely the fastest car out on track.
By the way, live timing and scoring is available. Visit raceball.tv/timing for that one, as you've had a number of people coming towards pit road during your first stint. They were the 996 machine, also Jan Hoffman, Matt Cook, Jonathan Bard, Robert Grosser has come towards pit road as well, Andrew Wood, Joel Tremblay, and everyone basically from P number 28 backwards. Out front, Michelle Constantini is still leading the way. The gap between himself and second place is 0.2 of a second. Benjamin Gregory is running in that second place right now, and while Constantini is trying to hold on to what is currently your race lead, but he's got a big piece of pressure as the gap between P number 2 and P number 3 now up to 3 seconds on track.
Just looks as though Michaela and Benjamin are just going away with this at the moment. Ben has been doing the Friday prime time as well in the IndyCars. So he's trying to make his way back into it, Will. He started off in IndyCars and then went off and did a few other things for a couple of other teams, joined us and has gone back to IndyCars again, and he is showing that he deserves to be in one of these cars and up at the front. He got lucky on the start there with the caution and the incident, but he's showing that he's staying with one of the big names in the Classic IndyCar Series.
Shout out to Bobby Rafferty watching on YouTube Gaming. Also shout out to Steve Plays, Steve 7 Plays, and Brett Alt as well. The battle going on between your race leaders is currently still at about 1/4 of a second. We go on board with the driver of Benjamin Gregory, and well, for Gregory right now, it's a case of continue to pull away because he's been doing that over the last couple of laps, and having a look at the lap times, well, they are substantial in terms of its improvement, and Matthew Molnar in 3rd place is losing time at about 0.2 of a second a lap. That last time by, lap number 25, they come past the start finish line. That is another 0.3 of a second, and Caton Bommersbach has just lost 2.
Just watching position change between Bommersbach and Hans Pitkinen, and those two met quite a lot last season, Will. They're going to be meeting quite a lot again, I feel. Caton's Bommersbach is up 17 positions on the start. We've got a car, looks as though they're going backwards on the main straight. That's the number 101. He's currently sat stationary, and he doesn't want to be sat stationary much longer because we are going to get another caution if he does. The 101, that is Sam Cooper Bennett, and I'm just not really sure what's going on at the moment with Will. With him, he's just not really moving. Yeah,
and he was talking about, just for the broadcast, about not wanting to make an embarrassment of himself. The good news is that he doesn't cause the yellow. We are still green here. Caton Bommersbach then versus Hans Pitkinen. That is the battle for P number 5 on track. The inside line there for Bommersbach not working for him as he has to fall back into P number 6 in the all-white car right now. Behind you got yourself Marshall Stanley as well, and Stanley looks strong.
Stanley has looked strong since the very start, and looking at his practice times as well, they did look very quick, and I definitely think he is one to watch throughout this race. There's a few names that are probably very new to you people who are regular in watching the Classic IndyCar Series, and I think there's a few names you definitely need to keep an eye on. As here we go, Caton Bommersbach is going to try and get the overspeed. Are we going to see 3 wide on the main straight? No, we're not. Bommersbach is going to go high on the car of Hans Pitkinen. Pitkinen is going to try and hold the inside line there. This is your battle for 3rd at the moment. In fact, actually, Matthew Molnar has managed to run away with it. This is your battle battle for fourth now. Randy Shoemaker at the moment just doing a sterling job to hold it. Here comes Bommersbach. He's going to try and go high on Randy Shoemaker to try and get that fourth position. Don't think he's going to be able to do it at the moment. Yes, he is. Shoemaker's going to be lower on that, or slower on that lower groove, and Caton Bommersbach making that higher groove work for him very well.
Yeah, and Bommersbach now up into P number 4. Shoemaker down into P number 6 for the moment. Battling out in Marshall Stanley. There we are. Yellow.
Car stopped on the front straight. Looks like the number 117 machine of Stefan Schlager. New name to the Classic IndyCar Series of 4H Motorsport. I wonder what happened there, Will.
Replay's up. Oh, he just lost it on the exit of turn number 4. Another replay. This one, it looked as though he just got the Classic IndyCar, no pun intended, loose on the exit of turn number 4 here at Homestead Miami Speedway. Loops that car around. Yeah, he does. He just loops that car around, and that almost was a multi-car accident.
Yeah, Klaus Peterson was extremely lucky to get away with that one, just running on that inside groove, and he managed to avoid that spinning car. But at the moment, we are going to be back under yellow for another few laps. Michaela Constantini is going to hold the lead. This is going to bunch the field back up together. So Gregory might have another chance on the restart, but this is going to bring the likes of Caton Bommersbach, Matthew Molnar back into this lead battle now. In fact, actually, we're going to see a few cars down onto the pit lane.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pit stops. That is going to be the interesting one here, because we have got green flag, so yellow flag pit stops. And Constantini, Gregory, Matthew Molnar, and Caden Monsbach and Stanley are all on towards pit road as we speak. So everyone, I said 32 laps is enough. They are going to basically do themselves a service, and then they'll come back out onto track. So we're having a look at that one then. And Constantini, the first driver in. Gregory behind. And these guys are going to come out as they came in. Constantini, then Gregory. Then Molnar is up 1 place. 4 places up for Caton Bommersbach. He's had a fantastic pit stop there.
We've also got people who haven't gone down onto the lane yet, Will, and I wonder whether we'll see it. Jonathan Diggs is the only person on the track who hasn't made a pit stop yet. He's currently up 37 positions and leading this race according to my screens, and now he's starting to fall back down again. So I think everyone's just going to file back in and just get behind that iRacing pace car once again, ready for the restart, and hopefully we won't see as long caution this time. It's just going to be a case of everyone getting themselves organised and our timing screws sorting themselves out again.
Yeah, we'll be back in a moment. Lights are off on top of the pace car. We're not ESPN on ABC, and IndyCar will give you, of course, restarts. Michele Constantini is leading the way right now, as he's basically led since the start of this motor race here. As Jack, we are back for the restart in a couple of moments' time.
Looks as though a couple of cars just getting the wave round, but the lights are off. We are going to be going green this time, and Michele Constantini has got big pressure from behind. Not only has he got Benjamin Gregory now, he's got the top 6 who've all been fighting it out very well so far.
Yep, so the lights are off. Pace car will drive itself on towards pit road, and we will get ready to go racing once again. Here is the pace car then, on towards pit road. We are green. And a good restart there by Constantini.
Brilliant restart there by Constantini. Everyone else just seeming to get away. No incidents so far. Everyone is up and rolling. And a couple of cars have made up a few positions, and a couple of cars are already swapping positions as well. So Hans Pickner as well, actually. He's gone up 2 positions in the first corner.
Yeah, and also we've got a bit of trouble. Well, I'd say trouble. Very close racing down at the rear end of your top 10. Randy Shoemaker, we're on board with him right now as he is battling it out with Jonathan Diggs. That is for P number 7, P number 8 on track right now. Shoemaker, one of a number of drivers there, looking to remember Andy Morgan in that car. And, well, down towards turn number 3 and 4, Shoemaker does look as though he has the advantage over Diggs, and he just holds that middle line. It's lane number 2, as I like to call it, absolutely perfectly. And Diggs now and Peterson, they go side by side. Yellow.
Oh, we're yellow. I heard tyre screeching just behind the battle we were looking at there. Looks as though the number 88 machine was involved. That's John Elsweimer. That's big. He doesn't usually make mistakes like that, Will.
He doesn't. Replay on board of him. Oh, that's a big one. And that wasn't Elsweimer's fault at all there. Let's get ourselves another look from our overhead coverage brought to you by And One Design. Car in front loops it then down at turn number 4, Jack. And yep, oh no, there was an incident ahead, and Elsewhere had nothing to do with that one at all. 1, 2, 3 drivers involved.
Just slight contact between Sasha Lamp and I believe, let me go and find out who that was, who he was battling with. I believe that may have been, I'm not really too sure, but yeah, there was contact involving Sasha Lamp. Sasha Lamp went up high into the wall and unfortunately took a couple of cars with him, including John Elsweimer, and that's just unlucky there for him. And again, it's first round of the championship. I think guys are just getting used to racing in such a big pack of cars.
Yeah, and you've got Lucas DeVille here. His race is done, and you're going to stand by with him. Lucas DeVille down in P number 37 and out of the event, Jack.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's just unfortunate for him. I'm not sure whether he's here with us at the moment, and I'm not sure whether, I think he was involved in the incident at the start as well. So if he's here, I do have a couple of questions for him, but if he isn't, that's fine. We can always... Oh, yeah, he is.
Sorry,
hello.
guys.
You're right, don't worry. And obviously, Lucas, coming into the first round, did you expect to see all the cautions we've had so far, everyone just getting used to racing in a pack again?
I was expecting a lot of cars, that's for sure. Not 37, to be perfectly honest. So that's a big surprise for us, and a good surprise. But yeah, I was not expecting though the big crash on that one. That's for sure. And yeah, I just wanted to explain quickly what happened all there. It's a well-known issue we have regarding crashes and incidents that happened before drivers cross the start finish line. So we had to extend the caution at the beginning. So I just wanted to apologize for that little issue, so that we can get everything sorted out and everybody back on the lead lap as they should be. Unfortunately, I had to lose 10 laps myself doing so I just prefer to retire the car completely there. But yeah, I was involved indeed, and I was not expecting that many yellows, that's for sure. But we had a good run at the beginning, so that's a good point.
And obviously, Robert Grosser has also joined us. He is the second league admin for the Classic IndyCar Series. And Robert, it's great to see the series. It's in such good health as well. I'm seeing 40 drivers on my timing screens for today's race. Not all of them took the start, but it's definitely a very good field for today.
Yeah, absolutely. This exceeds all my expectation by far, I have to say. And I'm very happy to see this amazing grid here at Homestead today.
And obviously looking forward to the season. Myself, Lucas and Robert, we all covered this in the pre-season shows. Are any of the names that we discussed as being quite big names showing up to you so far? Either of you can answer.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it in the qualifying. With the prediction was true. We had Henry Bennett, Matt Cook in the front row, Michele Costantini, myself right behind. Lucas also in the mix, so I think we were not so much far from the truths with our prediction. And now Michele is leading, so this is exactly what we expected.
Yeah, it was sure. Except for the two of us who unfortunately, had to put our cars in the pits. But that's a story for another day.
And obviously, before I let you both go, is there anyone you want to thank? Lucas, you go first.
Yeah, first of all, thanks to all the guys that are on track right now and were on track at the start of this race, because this league is alive. First and foremost, thanks to them. Also, big thanks to our sponsor, Logical, and Joy Timing for the support they gave us this year. And last but not least, to you two guys for the great broadcast and great entertainment that you gave us.
Robert?
Yeah, pretty much what Lucas said, and I would like to give a big thanks to Lucas for taking care of the pace car bug that we experienced right at the start, and for the patience of the drivers so that we could solve all this, although this must have been a little bit boring on the broadcast, but yeah, this is a bug and we have to work around it, and nothing we really can do, so thanks for all this.
And we are going to be coming round to green this time. Lights off on the pace car. Michele Costantini is once again going to be leading the field away.
He is indeed, and there are your top 8 then, as we are going to complete lap number 41 of 200 here in the first round of the Classic IndyCar Series, brought to you by Racebot TV. Pace car is on towards pit road. What can Costantini do on this restart? Green flag back in the air. Oh my word! Big incident. We're back to yellow.
Your top 2 both lost it on the start there. Michele and Benjamin Gregory both went round, and you don't expect that from those 2 drivers. They're so experienced in these cars, and we saw Michele do it at Vegas in the last race of 2017. He's done it again here at New Hampshire in the first round of 2018. I don't think Michaela's got very good luck on these restarts.
Well, Michaela's just had a horrible restart, and of course we're going to have a look at Benjamin Gregory as well, because he did exactly the same thing. On board with Costantini then. Costantini puts the throttle down, loops it. Now we're going to have a look at Benjamin Gregory doing exactly the same as we go on board then with Benjamin Gregory in the number 13 machine. And well, I talked about this earlier on here, Jack, the fact that these cars, when you get to about 9,000 RPM, it is the death trap, and well, Gregory does the same thing. He almost like reacted to Costantini, and they are both now well down the field. And to any driver looking to run the Classic IndyCar Series, make that first gear longer.
You know, the sport of synchronized swimming, I think Ben and Michele should enter synchronized spinning, Will, because they did it more or less at the same time, and they just followed each other. And I think this caution has also brought back into the fray a certain name of Henry Bennett. He's now back up to P16, and he's going to be strong, and even better, Matt Cook is P9.
He is indeed. Let's step aside for a few moments here on Racespot TV and on iRacing Live. final time. Once again, photo finish here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Will it be Tim Hogan? It's going to be Christopher DeMeritt at the line. Round out your week on Racewalk TV with Monday Night Skippies presented by the Calm Zone, as it is live on Racewalk TV and on iRacing Live. And Monday Night Skippies, we've seen a number of drivers make that transition over the years from M&S over to the Classic IndyCar Series, and it is great to see the drivers that we've got here today. It was a full field to start with here, Jack, but we've got ourselves a number of retirees now. They are Sasha Lamp, Jan Hoffman, Dave Costello, Lance Simon, Robert Grosser, Lucas Seville, sort of Worsley, and also Brian in the number 38 car.
Yeah, there's obviously a few incidents so far. 31 cars still running, that's a good number, and we're only 46 laps into this race, and unless this race goes green to the end, which I highly doubt it will, us seeing the amount of cautions we've had so far, Will, it is going to be a time-limited race of 2 hours, and it's going to be interesting to see how the drivers now adjust their strategy and adjust their driving style to meet that 2 hour mark instead of the 200 lap mark.
Yeah, as you can see there, 1 hour and 19 minutes remaining in this event. It is Matthew Molnar who will bring the field back to the green flag, and again, cold tyres here. In terms of stint laps, they have done about 14 laps. Caton Bombers back in second place, and Marshall Stanley in third, and Pitkin in fourth, and Randy Shoemake in P number 5. And a restart can be difficult, and this car at this track on cold tyres. So get yourself into maybe second gear and be safe, because it'll help you later on. The pace car will come on towards pit road, and we will go green once again. And a better restart then, as Matthew Molnar then will take the race lead officially under green flag conditions, and we're yellow once again.
Flying cars on the front straight. That's Jonathan Diggs. I saw him doing roly-polies over the pit wall there, Will, and a few cars involved there. I sort of saw that starting to happen, and it just looks as though, Jonathan Diggs got his rear wing filled by the car of Randy Shoemake there. Unlucky for both of them, and in fact, actually, Jonathan Diggs, he got loose and went into Randy, and that's just unlucky for him. He got a good restart and just lost that car straight away.
Yeah, and let's have a look then at replay on board with the driver of Jonathan Diggs, if we can get him. We are trying to find Jonathan Diggs' car. So we're going to just replay the tape one more time. But yeah, big incident there for Jonathan Diggs.
An uncharacteristic incident as well for Jonathan Diggs is not one that we see very often. Andrew Aitken also looks like he was involved. Randy Shoemake as well, and Michael Gerlicher all down onto the pit road now. And again, it's that uncharacteristic mistake that you don't need to make it on a restart, Will. And it's one of those things that I think people are going to take away from today and think, yeah, that's something I definitely need to practice and definitely need to improve on, is the restarts to this race.
On board with Andrew Aitken. Ooh, that is a big hit with him and the golf machine, turning Aitken upside down.
Yeah, Aitken, I think, was just an unlucky partner in that one there, Will, and he just, I think a couple of cars there were just unlucky as well. A couple of the incidents we've seen so far, and it's bumped a few people up the field. Matt Cook is now back into 6th, Will, and he's one of the drivers who we saw very strong make that mistake at the start, and he's back at the front now, and Henry Bennett as well, he's made his way back up to 14th. So we've got a few drivers now coming through the field and just making themselves known to everyone else.
Yeah, this clearly now is a timed race. We are working ourselves on lap number 49 of 200. We will not be able to complete all the laps in the assigned time limit that we have. 2 hours is what the Classic IndyCar Series race is, and well, it has been a topsy-turvy race, and we are waiting for a green flag run here because a full fuel tank does about 55 laps around Homestead Miami Speedway, and pitting in, we haven't yet talked about that one, Jack, is very difficult.
It's a very weird pit lane entry. I don't believe you run the final corner 3 and 4, and you just have to go around the inside. It's obviously flat, so you can't take as much speed, and you have to be very careful, especially with these cars. You've got so much power under that right foot, and you could very easily just lose it altogether. And I think that's definitely one of the things that we need to look at in this, or we need to watch in this race when we get a green flag run. It's been 18 laps since everyone else came down onto the pit lane when we had that caution and everyone came in. That was after our long green flag run, and we haven't really had one since, Will.
Yep, we'll be back in a moment. Congratulations to all the teams that finished the 24 hours of the Neo Endurance Series at Le Mans, presented by RaceSpot TV. Of course, we are now back here, and we have done ourselves 51 laps. Only 1/4 race distance in the Classic IndyCar Series has been scored complete. We've done 45 minutes worth of racing, however, which is why the ticker is taking itself down. 1 hour 13 minutes remaining in this event, or it could be another 148 laps to go. Pace car on towards pit road. We will go green once again here, and a slow restart. The field really were slow getting back to that restart here today there, Jack.
I just was over listening race control, talking to the drivers, and it just sounds like they've asked them to start in second gear to make sure we can get everything rolling. Because once they seem to get through the first 4 or 5 laps, well, they seem to be able to get away and just get going. Looks as though Michele Constantini is going to be getting his way past Andrew Adair Saunders. He is back inside the top 10 after that incident a couple of cautions ago, and it just looks as though everyone's just trying to get cleanly away on that restart and make his way up. Here we go. Constantini as well is going to look high. He's 8th now. He's made up 3 positions on this lap.
Yeah, we've been on board of him, and he is really charging. Is Michele Constantini as he works himself then down to the inside, and he will work himself past the driver of the 996 car, and it's a big gaggle of cars working yourselves right now, down from about P number 6 through to about P number 12 on track. Andrew Adair Saunders, we're on board of him right now, as he is currently in P number 12, and he's battling it out with Benjamin Gregory.
Benjamin Gregory looks like the faster driver. He's just making his way through. And in fact, Michaela must be on a charge. He's just done the fastest lap of the race so far. Well, a 26.302. These tyres might still be cold, but Michaela's finding all the pace he can through him. Gregory's managed to get his way back up into 11th. Carson Brodwin, Ryan Hellier as well are going to be battling it out for P number 17. Joshua Baird is going to be able to get back into P number 12 as well. Andrew Adair Saunders is quickly falling down the field. Matthew Mulder is going to be continuing to lead this field, and it just looks as though Michaela Constantini has managed to get his way past Matt Cook now. He is P number 6. He wants this race lead back, and he wants it back quickly. Yeah, Constantini is charging. He is up now 5 places since this restart. Lap number 55 or 200. Molnar continues to lead. He's got himself a bit of an advantage over the driver of Caton Bommersbach. Bommersbach is going to come back at him as they go side by side, then in towards turn number 1. And Caton will lead this motor race as they work themselves on the exit of turn number 2. And I think that Caton won't necessarily have the drive as Molnar goes back to the race lead, but now in towards turn number 3 and 4. Here comes Caton, and Caton cannot do anything there on that inside line. This is allowing Marshall Stanley to keep involved in this one. That lead battle is definitely just holding up a little bit more. 3-4 cars at the moment. It's between Matthew Molnar, Caton Bommersbach, Marshall Stanley and Hans Pitkin, and these guys were going at it for a long time during that long green flag period that we had, Will, and they're back at it again. Expect Michaela Constantini to be on the back of these guys pretty quickly. He's only about a second behind Hans Pitkin, and once he gets that draft, he's going to be off. Yeah, he is indeed. So Matthew Molnar then leading the way right now. As let's have a look back on board of Michele Constantini, because he is closing up to this pack, and the gap between P number 4 and P number 5 is only 9 tenths of a second. Michele Constantini is there in the mix. Henry Bennett as well, he's going to be making his way back up into P12. He's on the charge. Ben Gregory has managed to get back into P10th, or P10 as well. So everyone's just, who has made mistakes and dropped down the field, is trying to get their way back. Michaela, he is now within 7 tenths of a second. Catus Bommersbach is going to take the lead off Matthew Molnar. These guys are still going to be within about 500ths of a second of each other, Will, and Michaela, he wants a piece of this. He's now only 6 tenths behind Hans Pitkin, and he is closing fast. He is. That gap has come down 3 tenths of a second. That last lap here, we've got battles going on out front as well. This is it then for the race lead. Matthew Molnar versus Caton Bommersbach, and Bommersbach actually now going to lose second place to the driver of Marshall Stanley in towards 1. Marshall Stanley as well. He is high in the... no, Caton Bommersbach. No, that's just my screen being my screen. It looks as though Caton Bommersbach is heading for the wall through turn 2 there. He's managed to recover it. Nothing really happened. He's still in P3, but here we go. Looks as though Matthew Molnar is going to be battling with Marshall Stanley now. Marshall Stanley has managed to get his way from 3rd to 2nd, looking for the lead now of Matthew Molnar. And Matthew Molnar is going to go for the defensive. He's going to look high. They're going to try and draft each other through 1 and 2. No, they're not. Looks as though Matthew Molnar is going to try and stay higher, but no, he's going to move down low to block off Marshall Stanley. Here comes Bommersbach in the number 40, and he's going to be looking. These top 3 are going to be nose to tail at the moment. Michaela Constantini and Hans Pitkin just behind are going to be going for 4th position. Michaela just going to get it done on the lower groove. He's going to move up high though, very close to the wall for your top 3, and it just looks like they're all jouncing between each other at the moment. Oh, they are, and this is what we like here. Green flag racing in the Classic IndyCar Series. Caton Bommersbach running in 3rd place on the outside line. We're on board of him once again versus Marshall Stanley. We just turn that camera around, and he's got that 2nd place for the moment. However, Matthew Molnar is continuing to lead the way. And I will say one thing as well. The number 29 machine doing a fantastic job of continuing to lead this motor race. He's been so defensive at the front, and I think Caton Bommersbach is a driver who's more experienced on the oval. He's got nearly double the iRating. He's got 3,200 compared to Matthew Molnar's 1,900. And here we go. Bommersbach is going to be fighting for the lead now. Molnar, I don't think he's got much left in the tank to hold him off. I don't know how many more laps he can hold this lead, Will. And look at this. They're both going to go high. Just keep each other out of the wall. And it just looks as though Bommersbach is going to look down to the inside into turn number 1 and 2. And I think he might just have to move down there. He's going to take the lead off Matthew Molnar. Molnar's going to battle around the outside. Michaela Constantini is currently battling with Marshall Stanley as well for 3rd position, and he just manages to get his way past. Those two are split by less than 1/10 of a second, and it just looks as though Matthew Molnar is going to be able to hold off for that lead. The top 4 is now covered by less than 4/10 of a second now, Will. 2 wide, 2 deep here in the Classic IndyCar Series on Racesport TV and on iRacing Live, and that is exactly what we want to see. That was a fantastic piece of racing here as we go
go back on board then with the driver of Caton Bommersbach. He is now still in that second place, and these drivers will again do battle as they work themselves past the start finish line again. Lap number 165 out of 200 here. We are now past the 1 hour mark in this event as we go back on board with Bommersbach in the number 40 car. We've got a couple of issues with our graphics here, unfortunately. We are going to get those sorted out for you as quickly as we possibly can. But Bommersbach is not allowing Molnar to drive away with this one.
No, he's not. And Michaela Constantini now is going to be looking down to the inside. He's got second off Caton's Bommersbach, but Molnar and Bommersbach are going to try and hold the high line. Constantini has made the low line work so far, coming off of 3 and 4, and he's just going to be holding that low line as well. Constantini is showing why he deserves to be the reigning Oval champion, I think, of this series, Will, and he's going to look down to the inside of Matthew Molnar. Bommersbach is not going to try and fight him, but Molnar is going to defend like a soldier that he has so far since we've gone back to green. And here we go. Michaela Constantini just cannot get it done. I think Constantini is struggling to get past Matthew Molnar here, and Molnar is putting on a sterling defence off of who is one of the best racers on ovals, and he gets loose coming off of 4. Here comes Constantini. He's going to take the lead again. Car stopped on the main straight. That's the car 101 at the moment. No caution, and Michaela Constantini is going to retake the lead here at Homestead, Miami. Here comes Bommersbach for second as well, and Matthew Molnar. Molnar, he's just going to retain that second position at the moment, Will.
And you've got to give credit there to Michel Constantini, because he did a fantastic run there. And Molnar has been very defensive all day long. Not a blocking sense of defense, but he's been able to just keep that race lead. But he's now lost it to Michel Constantini. Talk about other people who started this race well. Matt Cook is currently embroiled in a battle for P number 9 on track. And he's just going to lose that position again to Klaus Pedersen in the number 96 machine. And well, Matt Cook right now is not having a good race, and this I think is a little bit about the kind of getting back into the groove style of things, as Gregory will lose position as well to Hans Pitkinen.
Gregory and Hans Pitkinen have actually been battling for the last couple of laps. They've just been trying to keep off each other. Here we go. Gregory's going to try look down to the inside on Hans Pitkinen, and I just don't think he's going to get the move done. Look who's rejoined the fray now, Will. It's one Henry Bennett, and he is going to be joining this pack. We've now got a 3-way train for P number 5, and it looks as though actually on my timing screens we're now going to get an 8-car train for the lead. And here we go, side by side between Gregory and Hans Pitkinen. I think we've got a little bit more fighting up ahead, Will, and actually Michaela, and he's actually run away with it now for the lead. Here we go, Marshall Stanley and that group. Here we go, we might go 3 wide here coming off of turn 2 for P number 5.
Yeah, we're having a look at it right now. They will stay 2 wide for the moment. Number 13 machine down to the inside. That is Benjamin Gregory. We'll go on board of him. As, in fact, no, we're going to go on board the number 8 machine instead. As Pitkinen was able to keep their advantage out of corner number 4 versus Benjamin Gregory. And that's what I talked about before. The outside line does work really well here at Homestead Miami Speedway. But Gregory going to go deep down to the inside on the exit of 2 in towards 3.
Gregory's just looking like he's struggling on that lower line, and he did say to me before the start of the race he was struggling with the lower groove. Might be able to get it on Pitkinen. Oh, we've got a car around off of turn 4. That looks like, I'm not sure who it is, but that is big damage there, and that was one of your leaders. That looks like it's Matthew Molnar, and oh, that's unlucky for him. He was having such a good race, and he's got such a damaged car now.
From the race lead out of the event, brushed high, lost it on the exit of turn number 4, hits the inside retaining wall, and well, turn 4 strikes once again.
Turn 4 has been the nemesis of these drivers so far today. Maybe they're just not getting it right coming off for the final corner, but unlucky there for Matthew Molnar. He was having such a good race, such a name that I think we're definitely going to have to look out for the rest of this season, Will, and just he is seriously doing well so far.
And out of nowhere, Michel Constantini is leading the way in this event.
And he's done a sterling job as well to get back to the front, and he did that under green flag conditions, and he hasn't used the cautions or anything to his advantage. He's done that under green flag, and I think he is proving it. And actually everyone's now going to dive down onto the pit lane. They've decided that 42 laps is enough on these set of tyres, and they're just going to get new ones.
Yep, so here we are then on towards pit road. All the drivers will come with lap 74 of 200 going to be scored complete this time by. At this stage, we can now confirm this will be a timed race. There is no way that this race will be completed under green flag conditions So all the drivers will come in. Michelle Constantini then going to lead the way in. Then you got yourself Casey Bombers batch, Marshall Stanley, Heinz Pitkin, all on pit road. And at this stage of the motor race here, Jack, it's about keeping yourself in check when you come on towards pit road.
You just got to keep it nice and steady and nice and calm and collected, because as we said, this pit entry is quite tricky, and I mean at a slower speed that you're going to be getting under caution is going to be a little bit easier. Everyone's just going to be filing themselves back out. Looks as though everyone might be coming out in the same positions that they pitted in. No, they haven't. Looks as though Henry Bennett has actually got the jump from Benjamin Gregory, and Henry is back up into 5th, so he is all of a sudden back into this well, and he is going to be a name to watch.
He will be
for
indeed.
The rest of this race.
He will be indeed. We'll be back with more after this.
The yellow flag is out. Pit road is now open. Keep your eye on those gauges. We'll give you 4 tyres. 3, 2, 1, now. done. Get going.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Classic IndyCar Series here on Racesport TV and on iRacing Live. We're going to go on board then with the driver of Michele Constantini. He is leading the way right now in this event, Jack. And, well, he's got himself a 7/7 of a second advantage right now over Caton Bommersbach.
He's done a really good restart there. We've obviously come back to green while we were still away from commercial, and he's got 7/10 over Bommersbach, and we know he's had the pace over everyone else in the field so far today, Will, and I think he's just going to keep up that pace. We've got 3 wide further behind. That is between Andrew Adair-Saunders, Johnny Garrett, and Carsten Brodby, as well as Andrew Wood manages to get past Matt Cook. So everyone's just settling back in, changing positions a little bit now, Will, and hopefully we can see another nice long green run.
Yeah, as we're having a look at Andrew Wood, and he's going to lose a position then to the 996 machine. Club Finland, Club Suomi then, number 996 car. And still side by side, they will go in towards turn number 3 and 4. As well, the good thing is, when we have had green flag racing here today, it has been fantastic racing. This is what Homestead Miami Speedway often does. It's multi-groove racing here. 18 degrees of banking at the bottom of the racetrack, 20 degrees up top, as we go back on board of Wood, and he's now behind that driver of Matt Cook for P number 6.
It's something that we see here, and we see it again at New Hampshire, and both create good racing because of the multi-grooves, and you can just get each groove to work, and every single one will work different for each setup and different for each driver. And something which definitely does show in these IndyCars is how, as Andrew Wood gets close to contact there with, it looks as though the car he is behind that is Valessa Yulian, who named to the Classic IndyCar Series as far as I know, and Andrew Wood has managed to get his way past Matt Cook now, Will. He is up into P number 6 as Henry Bennett now has joined the train for P number 2.
Yeah, as there is Andrew Wood. We've been staying on board of him versus the Aero X car of Matt Cook and the number 996 machine. So battles going on then. It's a 5-car battle going on. P number 6 through P number 10 on track. Michele Constantini versus Caton Bommersbach versus Marshall Stanley. It's been going on, but Marshall Stanley is side by side right now with the driver of Caton Bommersbach as they work themselves in towards turn number 3 and 4. Number 14 machine then in that second position. Marshall Stanley getting a bit tight there on the run through turn number 3 and 4, has remained in third.
Caton has really made that high groove work so far today, Will. He's just shown it coming out of 4 against Marshall Stanley, and that's something that I think he's got in his setup of that car just to work very well. Michele Constantini has managed to get his lead out to 2 seconds now. He is on a charge. He's trying to get away from everyone. His tyres are still 11 laps old, but they are going to have cooled down over the caution period, and they're going to be slowly getting back up to temperature, back onto green now for a few laps, and it just looks as though Michele has got the speed over everyone else in the field. As Henry Bennett as well, he's going to be looking to make his way back up a few more positions. He's down 4 on where he started, because obviously he started from pole, but he's definitely back in a good position. Carsten Brodby as well has managed to get his way past Andrew Adair-Saunders now. Adair-Saunders has been sitting around that mid-pack as actually Henry Bennett has managed to finally make his way around Hans Pickenen. I saw he'd been trying for the last few laps, it just hadn't been able to make it work, and now he has.
Yeah, and so there is that battle, as we say, down P number 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 on track right now. And we're on board with Joshua Bird, because Bird is losing a little bit of time as we go on board of him then in the number 23 machine for Club Midwest in towards 3 and 4 again. He's got himself George Tremblay right on his inside line. You can see him coming into shot in a Vortex Sim Racing car. And then you've got yourself Matt Cook and Andrew Wood just ahead as well. Sam Cooper Bennett said at the start of this broadcast, Jack, on our YouTube feed, he didn't want to make an embarrassment of himself. However, he is out. I think he feels a bit embarrassed.
I wouldn't be surprised, and he's joining us at the moment. And Sam, obviously, you've been running sort of mid-pack, and what's taken you out of the race today?
Turn 4. It's been a problem all afternoon. It's been a bit of a nightmare, really.
And just as that happened, we've seen Stefan Schlager he's stopped on the back straight, he is moving again, so we probably will not have another caution. He's just got another lap down now coming into turn number 3. I think he is offline, can't really see, and yes he is, he's offline, he's heading down to pit lane. So Sam, obviously, we've seen a few drivers been taken out by turn 4 today, and I don't think you'll be the last one, definitely, and just how hard is that coming off of that final corner onto that main straight?
It's very tight. You have to take a specific line going into turn 4.
Yellow.
And,
Yellow. It looks as actually, yeah, that's Stefan Schleicher. He's stopped, and that's unfortunate for him. He was having quite a good day there, Will. And sorry, Sam, you can finish off now.
But yeah, it's very tight going into turn 4. Well, turn 3 you have to take a specific line going into turn 4, and it does get very tight in turn 4, and it pushes you out wide. And if you get it a bit wrong, it does turn your car around. And I'm seeing that with a lot of drivers today, and unfortunately, it's happened to me too.
And obviously, before we let you go and just enjoy the rest of the evening and hopefully the rest of the broadcast, who would you like to thank today?
I'd like to thank a few sponsors. My brother's podcast, it's Thor's Kin podcast. It's about superheroes and stuff like that, and people talking about superheroes and stuff like that. And I'd like to thank him for putting his sticker on my car. Thank you to you guys for broadcasting, and thank you to Robert for putting on this lead.
Sam Cooper Bennett, he's not had the day that he probably wanted here today, Will, but I'm pretty sure he will be back fighting for the rest of the season in the mid-pack.
Yeah, indeed. So, don't forget, you can get social with us /RaceSpot TV on Facebook, at RaceSpot TV on Twitter. Everyone on towards pit road right now. So, a very busy place as a lot of drivers on towards pit road. A couple of people are staying out, actually. I'll take that one back. Klaus Pedersen is going to take over the race lead, but a very busy pit road there, Jack.
Pit road has once again got extremely busy. Looks at the cars that haven't pitted so far are going to be looking like Klaus Peterson, who's currently taking the lead, Andrew Adair Saunders, Ryan Hellier, Todd Novosad and Johnny Garrett. They are at the moment the cars who I'm seeing who haven't come down onto the lane. There are a couple more, and I think we'll be able to pick them out as we head back towards the restart. Yeah,
and also it's worth noting that we've got ourselves now 48 minutes remaining in this event to do 107 laps. That is not going to happen. As we're going to take you RaceSpot TV side by side. Back in a minute. Pace car on towards pit road. Klaus Peterson then leads the way. 3 drivers stayed out under the yellow flag. Peterson under Saunders and Ryan Hellier as well. And they are 1, 2, and 3. However, not for long as the 027 machine is falling down already, Jack.
Yeah, it just looks as though, and also Michele Constantini, he's got a good start. He's back up into 3rd position. He has the car on his tail of Benjamin Gregory. He is a lap down. He had a bit of an issue on the last restart. He had to come down and make another pit stop. Not sure what that issue was for the number 13 machine, but he is a lap down, but still running up there with good pace. Hopefully he can get back up some positions, but Klaus Peterson has got a little bit of a lead, just 1.2 seconds, but that's already falling. It's already 1.1 over Michele, but it just looks as though some people had good starts, some people had bad starts there, Will, and the drivers who didn't pit, I think, are about to be swamped by the quick guys.
They are indeed on board right now with Andrew Adair Saunders. He is one of those drivers that did not pit last time by, as he's actually still able to stay ahead of the driver of Marshall Stanley then, as Racebot TV /timing for live timing and scoring throughout the course of this event. Saunders does lose out there. That shows you really how the inside line does work if you've got fresh tyres.
Adair Saunders as well is just about to be overtaken by his teammate of Caton Bommersbatch on the inside. They're going to go side by side through 3 and 4, and she's just showing that groove just is not working for him today. And actually, he's managed to get good speed off that higher groove there off of 4 this time, Will. And we're coming up to halfway into this race now. We're definitely not halfway on time. We're far past that now. And Henry Bennett really wants to make up some positions. He's now going to try and go around the outside of Caton's Bommersbatch. He's done it. Next target is going to be Andrew Adair Saunders. He's back up into 6th after his poor start. And Michele Constantini, he's going to be back into the lead now. He's managed to take that away from Klaus Peterson.
Yep, so let's move the number 66 machine back to the top of the scoring pylon, and let's now go on board with the driver of Henry Bennett 007 machine as he gets himself now up into P number 5. He's got a 1/10 of a second advantage over Andrew Adair Saunders. So just having a look around the car, there we are, and Bennett has got the advantage as it stands. Andrew Adair Saunders has just had himself a couple of technical issues, but there's a big pack now going on from P number 5 all the way down to P number about 11 on track, and Matt Cook is in there as well. This is pack racing at Homestead, Miami Speedway. Cook from the outside down to the inside, and he tries to work himself past the number 4 machine of Andrew Adair Saunders, and he does so. But wow, that was a big piece of pack racing there.
These cars are so close. We've got a car stopped in turn 1. That's the number 27 of Andrew Aitken. I really hope he's offline there, because that's a fast entry down the corner, Will. Yeah, we got a yellow for that stopped car of Aitken, but that was some very close pack racing. So close to contact coming off of turn 4 between Andrew Adair Saunders and a couple of cars. So it's just one of those things that you have to do, and it just sounds as though race control have given back the drivers control of what gear they would like to start the restart now in, and hopefully we won't see the mess that we've seen the last couple of restarts. But at the moment, just looks as though everyone's going to be bringing that speed back down. Don't expect to see anyone down onto pit lane. The only people I would expect to see are the people who didn't pit last time. Their tyres are going to be pretty old. We've got a stock car, the number 34 machine on the back straight. Looks as though he is going to head back to pit lane now, Will, and I just think there's going to be a few guys coming down onto the pit lane and just getting new boots for those cars ready for the restart.
Indeed so. incredible time. Once again, photo finish here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Will it be Tim Hogan? It's going to be Christopher DeMerit at the line. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Classic IndyCar Series here on Racesport TV and on iRacing Live. And well, NBC IndyCar 2019, Jack. And one of the things I said to you off air was I am so looking forward to Lee Diffie commentating an Indy 500.
I am so looking forward to that as well. It's great to see NBC going to be involved in broadcasting for IndyCar. It's something I think is quite a long way overdue for the series, Will, and it's just such a good news, and I can't wait for IndyCar next year. It's going to be brilliant.
Yeah, of course, we're going to give a shout out to ESPN, ABC. They will be the coverage partner for a number of races, of course, this year. That would include qualifications for all the Indy 500, the Indy 500 itself, and then also the duel at Detroit. But we are so looking forward to NBC becoming the full-time partner of IndyCar in terms of broadcasting from 2019 onwards. And yes, we know Racebot would like to do it, but of course, we haven't got the broadcast capacity to do so. We are here, though. That number 106 of 200 was the scheduled time. We've got 42 minutes, though, remaining in this event. And it's a weird one on the oval, that with 95 laps to go, we're not actually going to show you what the lap counter is from now on, Jack. We're going to show you the time, and you've got to count back from this point in.
It's going to be interesting. A lot of cars came down to the lane to get full tanks of fuel, and in fact, we're going to go down to the green.
And here we are. Bennett is leading. Henry Bennett, of course, did not pit that last time by Andrew Wood, Matt Cook, Joshua Bide, 996 car, and Francois Stom did not pit in that last sequence of pit stops. And what that means is Bennett now leads the motor race, and we've now got ourselves Bennett and Cook back up in your top three. And Cook looking down to the inside of Andrew Wood.
Cook manages to get his way back into first and second, so your 1 and 2 for the qualifications is now back at the front. Only taken him 107 laps, but it's now 1-2 in the race as well. And Henry Bennett has done a brilliant job using strategy as well as Matt Cook to get his way back to the front. Michaela Constantini going to go 3 wide into turn 1. Constantini going to use that low line to be able to get a couple positions back up there. He is back up in 7th position. He wants to be able to get higher, get back towards the front of this field. Ben Gregory as well just managed to get back onto the lead lap with that caution period. Although he is running a risk, he's a lot longer on strategy than everywhere else. He might have to make a green flag pit stop before the end of this race, Will. But everyone at the moment is going to be going hard, going strong. We have just under, I believe, 40 minutes remaining in this race, and it's going to be a great 40 minutes.
Yeah, Michelle Constantini then looking down to the inside of the number 24 machine, right to give, and that is Tyler Lugo Vickery, as Constantini will find his way past. We stay green for the moment, and well, we've had a sequence of caution after caution and then long green flag run here today. So now it's going to be interesting what will happen for the last 36 minutes of this event as Cook lose that position to Wood once again as the battle for P number 2 intensifies. What this is allowing is Henry Bennett to really start to pull away. The gap is now 8 tenths of a second between P number 1 and P number 2.
Looks as though Andrew Wood has managed to get his way back into Matt Cook. They're no longer running side by side as they were coming down the back straight that lap, Will. And Henry Bennett as well. He's now got his lap lead out to 9 tenths of a second. He's going to be out of draft range very soon. Matt Cook is definitely looking for a move on that car of Andrew Wood, but here comes the 23. Here comes Joshua Baird. He wants some of this. He wants to be able to get on the podium. He's going to look down low. He's going to get Matt Cook. Can he also get Andrew Wood? But hang on, no. Matt Cook is going to be coming back, coming off of 4, and it just looks as though Baird is running off pace on the low line. Let's have a look. Here we go. Baird's still going to be on the inside, side by side between Baird and Cook. These guys are giving it some good pack racing, and okay, it's not too deep, too wide like we saw earlier on in the race, Will, but it's definitely some good racing as Baird makes his way past Cook into 3rd.
He does, and well, Baird is one of those drivers that I think we have to put in to contention for driver of the day, and the Draw Real Timing award that will come with that. That's a free subscription to Draw Real Timing for 1 year. And while Bird's doing a fantastic job right now, Wood, of course, as well, and Bennett, I think, are all equal in terms of who can win that award. But it's very close in terms of your top 3. 1.4, though, is the gap between Wood and Bennett right now. So as we're all scrapping out, Bennett used that as the opportunity to pull away.
You know what? I'm going to stick a wild card into that competition, Will. Matthew Molnar. He may not still be in the race, and actually, no, you said that. He is still in the race. He's running currently at least a lap down off of your leaders, but he put a brilliant job in the first half of this race, Will, and I definitely think he's one of the contenders. As here we go, Michele Constantini is going to make his way past Joshua Bird. He's already back into the top 3, Will. He is on fire today here at Homestead, Miami.
Yeah, and of course, Vortex Sim Racing drivers, because of their partnership with Draw Real Timing, do not have eligibility for the Driver of the Day award. But Constantini, if we were to offer it to one driver, it surely would be him. And Constantini right now going to go down to the inside of Andrew Wood, and he will work himself now up to P number 2. Damage the number 32 machine a little bit, and Constantini will get 2nd place.
Just looks as though we had a car stopped off of 4. He has managed to tow himself back into the pit lane. That was Jonathan Diggs. So no caution. We're going to stay green for the moment. Henry Bennett's lead is now 2 seconds. Michele Constantini will not let that stay like that for very long, Will. But now that Henry Bennett is out in front, I think he might stay in front. Henry Bennett as well. He won the Classic IndyCar Series Winter Series, not broadcasted by us. I did provide a broadcast over on my own YouTube channel for the final race, and only 12 or 13 cars in that. But he just gave me a good idea of who to look out for this year. Henry Bennett walked that series. He'd won it coming into the final round there, Will. He is going to be one to look out for all season long. A good contender for the winner. But Michele Constantini, do not count him out. Matt Cook, do not count him out. A couple of other drivers as well that are showing their names up already, and we aren't even at the end of the first race. Not too long to go now. We're now approaching the half-hour to go mark, and Henry Bennett is going to be keeping that lead. Michele Constantini just cannot close him in. Yeah,
and the top speed there, 205 miles an hour past the start finish line for Henry Bennett. Michele Constantini, like last time by, I want to have a look at the lap gaps, and Constantini was faster by 11 one-thousandths of a second, but 11 one-thousandths of a second on a track like this will mean that Constantini might well come back into play. We've got 33 minutes remaining here. We say minutes for those of you just joining us here on Racesport TV, on Facebook Live, and on YouTube Gaming, because of the fact that we will not complete the scheduled 200 laps here. And it does change the entire picture very quickly, as Constantini, again, faster, just a little bit, compared to Henry Bennett right now. And it does really make it a difficult race to call, as Marshall Stanley is right now behind the number 24 car, Tyler Lugo Vickery. So 24 versus 25 car for P number 7 on track. And as a crew chief, you've really got to now do what I like to call counting back.
I think it's just definitely going to be crew chiefs are going to now be getting out the calculators, making sure the cars can get to the end, and if they can't, what lap they need to come in at the latest to get that fuel to the end. And at the moment, I'm just still seeing laps remaining on the laps. I cannot tell you how many more laps we're going to get based on time. I could probably work it out, but it would probably take me a couple of minutes, Will, and I think it would probably be around the 40 mark. I think is how many more laps we're going to see, 40 or 50 laps, and at the moment, everyone else, we're going to get a nice, I think we might have a nice long green run, and I think 2 cars that could hurt, especially if we go green to the end, is Henry Bennett or actually 3 cars, and most of the guys in your top 5, the only one that's really looking good now is going to be Michele Constantini. I think he can make it to the end from here. Everyone else in that top 5 and 6 is going to have to pit again.
Yeah, and for Michele Constantini, I think that he has really done this race based upon the amount of time left to go, not the amount of laps left to go. He was, get this, 1/1000th of a second slower than Henry Bennett that last time by.
Yeah, I think he's just... those two are matching times to each other. The gap has come down by 1/10 of a second. Gap is now 1.82 seconds, but Michele just cannot get the same speed that he had earlier in the race that he needs to catch Henry, and he has gone faster than him that time, but only by 3/100ths of a second. In fact, actually, no, he went faster by 4/1000ths of a second, and we have a caution, and that is going to help Henry Bennett and that top 6 so much now. 77 car looks like he has stopped on the front straight. That is going to be Yoni Karjan.
Yep, so there's a replay coming up for you right now. Oh, he lost it out of turn number 4 all by himself, and then took 2 other drivers with him.
Turn 4 strikes again.
That's been the thing all day here today. He was battling out a number 4 machine as they worked themselves in towards turn number 3 and 4. And then he just lost himself all by himself there. Hit the number 4 machine, hit another car as well. And, well, Yoni Karjan then out of the motor race as it stands. Number 4 machine of Andrew Adair Saunders was the driver involved as well. Karjan is able to keep that car going, but we are under yellow flag conditions. And, well, everyone is on towards pit road.
Couple of cars staying out, Will. I think I'll be able to find out who they are for you. They're going to be Marshall Stanley and I believe Matthew Molnar. They both look okay on fuel at the moment, but everyone else who's marginal is going to be coming down onto the pit road, including Michele Constantini. So race off pit road now for Constantini and Bennett. That gap didn't really close up too much though when they slowed up here. So let's just see how this plays out now, Will.
This is important. Bennett comes in. You can see the number 66 machine as well of Michele Constantini right on the rear of Henry Bennett coming on towards pit road. There is the pit entry, and we're going to see drivers coming out and away. Here we are. Bennett will just about get it over Constantini. Wood then in 3rd place. Cook in 4th. Joshua Bard, and then the 996 car of Vesa Yuri Julia and Joe Tremblay in P number 10. We'll step aside. Back in a moment. Here of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Will it be Tim Hogan? It's going to be Christopher DeMerick at the line. Let's get ready for another restart then here in the Classic IndyCar Series, presented by Logical Engineering. Green flag back in the air, and Marshall Stanley is going to lead the field down in towards turn number 1 again. Of course, what we've got now, 2 drivers who are on old tyres here, Jack, compared to everyone else. And while Stanley gets a good run, but Peterson is under pressure immediately.
Looking at the top 2, they've got tyres which are 25 laps old now, and looking at everyone else behind them for about 15 positions, well, they've got 4, and they've all been on caution, so they've practically brand new tyres. Marshall Stanley and Klaus Peterson are not going to be able to hold that for very long, especially with the likes of Michaela Constantini and Henry Bennett behind them. Same with Matt Cook, and a couple of cars just reordering themselves. Once we get around to the restart, as we come round, we are already going for a lap, and it just looks as though Marshall Stanley has managed to be able to hold it for this long already. I'm actually surprised at that, and it just looks as though as well Michaela will want to be making up positions.
Yeah, and we see the number 3 machine there trying to get himself a lap back. And that's the thing about the Classic IndyCar Series as well. Single file restarts means that drivers will race to get their lap back. And here comes the number 66 machine of Michele Constantini back up into P number 2. But he will have to deal with that number 3 car of Randy Schubeck. And Schubeck is not going to get that one lying down right now. And, well, it's rules of racing. He's allowed to issue make. He's allowed to keep that position and race for the position and race to the part of the racetrack as well. As now here comes the number 66 machine down to the inside in towards turn number 1, and it will be the driver of Michele Constantini, who is not able to complete the pass just yet, but he will try to do so in towards turn number 3 and 4. Has the inside line at Homestead, doesn't necessarily mean an advantage, but he will complete the pass and the exit of turn number 4.
Looks as though a small bit of a contact, but here we go. Michaela Constantini is going to be looking down to the inside of Henry Bennett for the lead now, essentially. And, okay, Marshall Stanley is a little bit further ahead. No, Michaela Constantini is going to make his way back into the lead. Henry Bennett just wasn't able to defend that at all there, Will. No, that wasn't Henry Bennett, sorry. That was Marshall Stanley. I'm just getting mixed up. They both got very bright orange cars, and Michaela Constantini is going to be heading back to the lead. Just to give you a quick update on Henry Bennett, he's down in P number 4 at the moment, and he's going to be looking down to the inside of Klaus Peterson for P number 3.
Yeah, as we've got big battles going on down in your front pack as well, and this is involving the driver of Henry Bennett in the 007 machine. We're on board with him right now as he tries to get himself up positions. Of course, he's been up and down in this race here today. He's led the race, he's been down, involved in incidents, and he's currently running in P number 5. So that's the issue and the situation for Henry Bennett. We have still got, by the way, Robert Grosser here on Racesport TV and on iRacing Live and Facebook Live as well. And well, Robert is a timed race now. We don't normally have timed races on on oval even, but we are in a timed race situation, 22 minutes remaining. If you were a driver, what would you do?
Oh, I love this question, Will. Of course, what I would do now is look to my iPad, which is next to my simulator. Look to Joel Real Timing software, and this software will tell me exactly how many laps are left in this race, how much fuel I need, and then I can sort out my fuel strategy. And I know exactly how if I need to do another pit stop or not, for example, and all this.
So as you got 22 minutes remaining in this motor race, we are estimating that this race will go about 180 laps. That's about half a stint in terms of these drivers, as we've got behind right now the drivers of Matt Cook and Joel Tremblay going side by side. Behind them, we've also got ourselves the drivers going side by side as well. Cautions here today, Robert, have been higher than what we've expected. But do you think the drivers expect there to be a number of cautions here today?
Yeah, well, in the briefing before the race, I already gave a heads up that we might come very close to the time limit, and so this, of course, includes a lot of cautions, because when we have so many cars on the track and have this kind of pack racing, then caution can always happen. So people had to be aware of the possibility of having many cautions indeed. And I was expecting it myself also.
You were expecting that yourself, as you've got side-by-side going on right now for P number 3 on track. Henry Bennett versus the driver of Marshall Stanley. That's going on for P number 2 actually on track as it stands. And the number 3 car of Randy Shoemaker is still involved in that battle. He is classified as a lap down, but he is allowed to race, and that's the important thing. Too wide, too deep, in towards turn number 1. Here they come then, as they work themselves through. And while Shoemaker is saying, look, you can put me a lap down, but you're not going to take me lying down, as we got behind side by side with the driver of Benjamin Gregory and Joel Tremblay going side by side right now. We've had a lot of cautions here today, Robert, but we've also had some fantastic racing. Thoughts about the first round of this series?
Yeah, the racing when we were green was really awesome, and this is exactly what I hoped for. Just what's going on right now is really amazing, superb show. Obviously the problems at the first starts and restarts not so much.
Oh, counter wall!
Klaus Peterson.
And we go yellow. With 19 minutes and 45 seconds remaining, we go yellow. And it's Klaus Peterson involved in that one. Replay coming up for you right now.
Just looks as though he got collected by the car of Joshua Baird, and that just sent him high up into the wall through turn 3 there, Will. Unlucky for Klaus. He'd been having a good race so far, and we know he probably did need a pit stop, and I don't think this is the way he wanted to. He did a few barrel rolls off the
thing is though, he did he had an incident down towards turn number 2, and I think that's what caused him to get tight down in towards turn number 3. And here we are. Down towards turn number 3 he comes, the back straightaway. They go 3 wide, and the number 23 machine is the driver that really kind of forced him to go a little bit wide down into that fire, turn number 3 and 4. And that number 23 machine, well, I think we know who he is.
We do, and it's Joshua Baird. Is someone who we saw up at the front of the field to sort of mid-race, Will, and unlucky to see him involved in that incident, but I just think it was a mixture of so many things that happened there. We've got a few cars coming down to the pit lane, a couple of us who are staying out, and in fact, the car who is staying out is Randy Shoemaker. I think he wants to get his lap back. Everyone else looks like they're going to be heading down to the pit lane and making sure they've all got full tanks ready for the rest of this race.
Yep, so a big pit party coming on towards pit road right now. We've got ourselves pretty much everyone on pit road, and this is the whole thing that we talked about earlier on, Ben. And we've got ourselves drivers who are now looking to get to the end of the motor race. As we can see, P number 1, 2, 3, 4, Constantini will come down in P number 3. Carson Baudelaire and Frank Stum have stayed out on the track. Constantini and Bennett and Cook and Wood and Stanley and Tremblay and Gregory and Bard and Yulia and Kajan are all on pit road.
I think it's interesting to see. They're probably just having a little bit of a top-up, new tyres and ready to go. They want those fresh boots ready for the final few minutes of this race. Not too long remaining now, just under 16 minutes now, I believe, and we're getting very close to the end of this race. We probably will hit 3/4 distance, so we will be able to achieve a good portion of this race, but with 42 laps remaining, we are certainly not going to do 42 laps in the time that's remaining.
We're not. We've got Robert Grosser here. Robert, are you ready for it?
Absolutely, and now with the maybe fresh tires for some of the drivers, this is going to be interesting, really.
Well, here we are. NBC once again. We're sorry. Welcome back to the Classic IndyCar Series here on Racesport TV and on iRacing Live. We are on board with Henry Bennett now in P number 4. And Henry, well, a bit like Fernando Alonso, charting through the field.
He's definitely had a good race. He's looking like he's going to be strong for the final 15 minutes of this race. Currently sitting P4 behind Michaela, so let's see what they can do. We're going to be coming around to the green this time. Just 15 minutes remaining in this race. Not too long now, Will. Hopefully we can go green to the end.
Hopefully my blood sugar levels will survive. I can say that because the smoking hot Eastern European girl who looks after my blood sugar levels is in the kitchen. Green flag back in the air. Here we go then at Homestead Miami Speedway. And wow, Bennett, a fantastic restart there by him. As you see ahead, battle for the race lead. Constantini will go to the race lead.
Constantini there getting a great start. He's going to be jumping 2 cars there at the start. Henry Bennett hasn't been able to move. Matt Cook has managed to get his way around Andrew Wood. In fact, Henry Bennett is going to be moving his way up into 3rd. We're going to go 3 wide nearly into turn number 3. These guys are going nose to tail. They really are not hanging around. Here we go, 3 wide off of turn number 4. Here comes Joel Tremblay. He's going to try and go through the middle. There's not going to be a gap. You can't go there. Sorry, bud. And yep, he's just going to have to settle for 2 wide into turn number 1 instead. And everyone's having a bit of a hectic restart. They know the end of the race is coming, and I think the pressure is just building up.
I'll tell you one thing, is that the drivers of Tremblay and Cook et al., they know the fact that the race end is coming, but they also yellow. It's Andrew Anderson. He's turned around down at turn number 3, and that is replayable for you right now.
Looks as though he might have taken Benjamin Gregory with him as well.
Yeah, I think so.
Machine.
Yeah. Oh my word, that's the big incident. I think Gregory was involved.
Gregory was involved because he had contact with Franz Josef Sturm. That sent him off to the inside, and he was a passenger with that one from there. Big damage on that car. A couple of cars collected, and Andrew Adessel has had nowhere to go. Straight into the side of Gregory. Both of those are going to be out of this race so close to the end. Gregory was having a good race as well. He managed to battle his way back up into 5th position there, Will. And he's just had it stolen away from him so quickly, unfortunately for him. He is down onto the pit lane with a blown engine.
Gregory kind of lost that by himself, and he kind of, I think it's a hardware failure there for Benjamin Gregory.
Oh, hang on, let me have a look on board. I'm not really too sure.
I still think that's a hardware failure there for Benjamin Gregory. We are, however, under yellow here at Homestead Miami Speedway. And one of the things we've been talking about here, Jack, is the fact that yellows breed yellows. And we are here, and Michele Constantini, however, is leading this motor race.
But do not count out Henry Bennett just behind him in the 007 machine. He's definitely going to be one to watch towards the end of this race, but also up 29 positions. He is your biggest mover and shaker in the field so far. We haven't really talked about those so far today. Carsten Brodby, he is sitting 3rd and he is looking strong so far. His strategy seems to have paid off, and I think he's definitely going to be able to get it to the end from here. He is on warm tyres compared to the other people around him. I just maybe think that could pay into someone else's favour. He's got Matt Cook just behind him, but everyone else just seems looking like they're staying out. There's no point pitting so close to the race. Everyone can get to the end from here, and Michele Constantini is looking strong, but do not count out the cars that are behind him in the form of Henry Bennett, Carsten Brodby and Matt Cook, because they have been fast all day.
And Cook, he is burning fuel as well. In 3rd gear, we'll be back in a moment. coach here of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Will it be Tim Hogan? It's going to be Christopher DeMerit at the line. Matt Cook has been doing fuel burning as you come back to green flag here. 8.5 minutes remaining here in the first round of the Logical even in Classic IndyCar Series. And I will say one thing as well as you come back to green flag racing. It all comes down to this: the restarts. And it's a good one there by Michele Constantini. Back to green flag racing we go.
Everyone nice and clean away this time. They've obviously had lots of practice on restarts in this race, Will, so everyone seems to have perfected that 9,000 RPM kill switch. Everyone going to be away. Just 8 minutes remaining. You heard that over race control. The drivers being informed that not too long to go now by Lucas Laville up in race control. So everyone away cleanly. Michele Constantini looking like he has got a nice big lead over Henry Bennett of 0.6 of a second already.
Yeah, and that's almost draft range accomplished by him already. Michele Constantini, of course, he's been down in the pack here today, Jack, but he's now back up to a race lead. Henry Bennett in second place. We saw him as a former race winner, and we've also got Matt Cook in third.
And obviously, one thing we do have to decide before the end of the race, Will, is going to be our driver of the day. Who is that going to be? We've got a few people who we have in mind, but we'd have to come down to a decision. I think it's going to be a hard one.
But Constantine just says a fast lap of the day. He really wants this race victory as we go on board with the driver of Marshall Stanley then battling it down with Matt Cook, and he will get the advantage in towards turn number 3, and Marshall Stanley up now in towards P number 3 for a moment, and then is
around. Looks as though Tyler Vickery is in the wall. Sorry about that, Will.
And we're yellow.
Have another caution. Was there contact involved? No, there wasn't. It looks as though he just lost it on his own. Oh no, there was a car that came up into the wall in front of him. That was one of the 4X Racing Machines, a team which is pretty well presented in the Classic IndyCar Series this year. That is Franz Josef Sturm. And he just took out Tyler Vickery with him. That's unfortunate for Tyler. Josef Sturm looks like he's managed to carry on, but I think he's showing that his tyres have definitely seen the best of days. They're 30 laps old compared to 20 laps younger with the other people who are around him.
Yeah, on board with then Tyler. Oh my word, that is a big incident. And running across the wall then is Tyler Vickery in the number 24 machine. Caution out then. No one will come in towards pit road right now, but we've got ourselves a fascinating last 2 minutes of this event as we go on board then with the driver of Michele Constantini. And we look from the rear, and he has got himself a fantastic position right now, because I don't think that Henry Bennett can get past him.
Drivers have also just been told that this will be the final restart of the race, so just one more chance for Henry Bennett to be able to take that lead off Michele Constantini, and I think definitely it's going to be stressful in those final few closing minutes, Will, and obviously just over 6 minutes remaining at the moment. We're probably going to have about 4 laps of racing, I'd say, 4 or 5 laps of racing once we go back to green, and we've hit 3/4 distance, we've passed 3/4 distance now, and it's definitely going to be a race to see who can be quickest off the restart between Michele Constantini, Henry Bennett and Matt Cook. Do not count him out in third. He has definitely been strong all day, Will, and he is definitely going to be someone to look out for the rest of the season. He is definitely strong also as a candidate to take the win.
Yeah, we'll be back in a moment here. 5 minutes remaining. We'll be back after this quick message. One person burning fuel is Matt Cook right now. And that's the thing here, Jack. If you pitted early, you want to now burn that fuel. Cook has done himself on his last in 15 laps. Everyone else in front of him has also done 15 laps. But 2 minutes remaining in this event once we go back to green flag racing.
Only about 3 or 4 laps as well remaining in this race, so it's going to be a very much last lap dash for the final few laps here. And Lucas Laville announcing to the drivers it's going to be around 3 laps of racing, we believe. Lights are off on the pace car. We are going to be going green for the final time this time here at New Hampshire, and let's just see how this race finishes. It's going to be an exciting finish.
That's the second time we said New Hampshire. We're at Homestead.
New Hampshire? Homestead? Oh, what am I doing?
I was going to say, is that there's a bit of a distance between them. Of course, we are here at Miami, Homestead Miami Speedway. But lights are out on top of the pace car, and we are going to go green flag racing, and we're going to give you Racesport TV fan immersion to the end of this motor race. Pace car working itself out of turn number 3 and 4. Everyone taking the high line as we bring you back to green flag racing. Sometimes a picture tells 1,000 words, and that is what you're going to get here for the last minute and 25 seconds as the pace car's in and we go back to green. One minute to go. On board with Matt Cook then, as he's in third place. The driver of the 007 machine of Henry Bennett pitches up high. It looks as though it could well be Michele Constantini's race here. As behind we've got ourselves Andrew Wood in a battle as well, as Cook will get himself for a moment second place, lose it back down to Henry Bennett, and in third place he is right now. But Andrew Wood then trying to battle. Look at how close that one is in battle for P number 7.
Everyone just seems to be like they're nice and clean away on the final restart. They're going to be racing hard for the final couple of minutes here. Just closing in on the finish now. Getting close to the final lap. Michele Constantini's got a half a second lead over Henry Bennett. Henry Bennett, 26.298. Fastest lap of the race so far. He is on a charge. He wants this win, but I don't think he's got enough time. 1.4 laps remaining now, according to my timing screens, Will. We're going to be going white flag, 1 to go this time.
Indeed, so Michele Constantini then out of the final corner. No white flag here. We are done. And Constantini will win it at Homestead Miami Speedway. Henry Bennett will get himself the fastest lap of the day. But Michele Constantini is gonna be your winner at Homestead Miami Speedway. And Henry Bennett in second place. Matt Cook in third. And well, if you were to do the pre-race show again, Jack, I think that'll be your top 3 anyway.
I think it would be. Michele was always going to look strong on the ovals. He's reigning oval champion. He's come in first round of the Classic IndyCar Series straight off the bat with a win. Good win by him in the number 66 machine. He's now gonna do a bit of a celebration on the front straight there, Will. So good race there by everyone. A few too many cautions than we probably like to have seen, but it all happens. First race, everyone's just going to get used to pack racing. These cars are not slow either, and they are so susceptible to damage. So good race by everyone today. It's going to be interesting, and obviously myself and Will, we have to still choose our driver of the day.
And this is going to be a big one. We'll do it one more commercial because I think we might actually argue about this one a little bit. So you won't be able to hear that one on Facebook Live. Vortex Sim Racing, Michele Constantini wins the day here today as the number 66 machine is doing the donuts, and he is your winner. Result up on your screen. Michele Constantini wins the day. He is not allowed to get driver of the day. Henry Bennett in second place. Well, he will be a contender. Matt Cook in third is also disqualified. Matthew Stanley, Marshall Stanley even in fourth place. He had a fantastic run here today. George Tremblay in P number 5. Yerna Kodjan in P number 6. Carson Broadway in P7. Andrew Wood in 8th. Joshua Bard in 9th. And Franz Josef Strum rounds out your top 10. Rest of the results up on your screen. And well, Jack, overall, Yes, we had a number of cautions, but it's also been a fantastic motor race.
Some awesome close racing by everyone, some awesome pace as well from some drivers, and it's great to see some new names coming into the Classic IndyCar Series and instantly being such a name on the broadcast, and it's going to be something that we take forward for the rest of the season, that we are definitely going to be looking at certain drivers as to who could take the championship. And I think just looking from this, it's our first oval race, we've definitely got some contenders, and looking towards the roadside as well, I think there's going to be some very strong drivers.
Indeed so. RaceSpot Cat says hello here on RaceSpot TV. But there are your top 30 up on your screen. I will take this quick break and we'll be back with Driver of the Day after these messages.
Here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Will it be Tim Hogan? It's going to be Christopher DeMerick at the line.
Well, round number 1 of the Classic IndyCar Series of 2018 is in the books. And it's been a fantastic race here today. Wilmington Jack Stars, we're getting ready for post-race coverage. And well, Jack, yes, there was a lot of cautions. And yes, we did go past the time limits. But it was still a very interesting race here down in Miami.
Very interesting race. We've seen who's going to be a good contender for the rest of the series. Some unfortunate incidents for some of the guys who could have challenged for top 10s and top 5s as well there, Will, but that's just an unfortunate part of racing sometimes. And I mean, a lot of lessons have been learned from today's race, and I think it's definitely going to be taken forward. And one of the things as well is we've seen some strong drives from some drivers who maybe we didn't expect it from.
Yeah, indeed so. And we're going to give our RaceWhat TV JRT award in a few moments' time. But first, Michelle Constantini with the race victory, who stood by with you, Jack.
Michaela, obviously, congratulations on the win. Were you coming into Miami with high hopes, seeing as you were the 2017 Oval champion?
Yeah, obviously I was trying to. I was hoping for a win or at least for a good result, but obviously the goal was winning the race. And yeah, we had a little bit of trouble at the start of the race with many yellows, but I'm sure everybody will get sorted out for the next oval race. And we have a nice group going. Robert and Lucas did a wonderful job organizing the league and everything. And yeah, I'm looking forward for all the next races.
And obviously looking forward to the season. You may not be as strong on the road courses. You're obviously in this for the overall championship. Are you going to be using the ovals to help you get that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. As I said, I'm not a road guy. I got lucky in Laguna Seca Friday night 2 days ago. But yeah, I will try to get the ovals working for me. I will try to get as many points as possible there, and then try to get some banker points in the road courses, and just try to finish the race in a decent position.
Well, you obviously had it working today for you. Before we let you go and celebrate with your team, Logical Vortex, who would you like to thank today?
Well, obviously the team, and as I said earlier, I would like to thank also Robert and Lucas for all the organization of the league, which took quite a bit of time. I would like to thank you guys for the broadcast. I would like to thank Jack, you, for the YouTube channel you're doing, for the preseason video, which I found very nice and funny, and that's about it.
And obviously, ladies and gentlemen, the driver drinking the milk on victory lane today is going to be Michaela Constantini. Back down to you, Will.
Yeah, and so second place here today, he's going to be the driver of Henry Bennett. And Henry, well, at the end, only 4 tenths of a second back from Michelle Constantini. However, you had issues along the way. Oh, Henry Bennett's not even here, so we're not going to talk to him. In fact, we are going to talk to third place driver. That is Matt Cook. Matt, it's been so long since I talked to you. However, 1 second behind race victory, you come back into the IndyCar series as a part of Banshee Aero X. How does it feel?
It's definitely trying to ride a bicycle, but you just don't quit it anymore. Everything, you can do it, but it's just a little bit awkward.
Well, the fact that you got yourself third place, and of course, so your first run here in the Classic IndyCar Series, and a lot of people remember the fact that you took a departure away from the IndyCar Series for about 18 months. Getting back and a podium immediately, what does that mean to you?
It's definitely a step in the right direction. You know, I'm really happy with the result. Robert, Michael, and Henry definitely had more race pace than I did. I was fortunate enough to be in the right position at the right time, but you know what? I think it's going to give me a good start to the season. I'm looking forward to continuing.
Road to the month of May, Indy 500. Of course, there's no Indy 500 in terms of this Classic IndyCar Series, but there is a 9th annual running of the iRacing Indy 500. Is that your next step?
I'm definitely looking forward to it. I would love to participate, and I should be there.
Cook, third place here today. Let's hand it back to you, Jack. Who are you with?
I'm going to be down with Ryan Hellier. He finished down in 12th position. And Ryan, you're a rookie to the Classic IndyCar Series, and you ran the Winter Series. So coming into the Summer Series, what was it like running with such a big group of people?
wasn't so much the size of the group, it was more running an open setup on an oval, because in the Winter Series I didn't run any ovals. And I normally run the IR05 with a fixed setup in the IndyCar Championship, but I was running way too conservative a setup for this race. So I felt like my driving was fine, but I need to run a way more aggressive setup to try and keep up with the pace of the front there.
Obviously, that's one thing you're going to be taking forward into the rest of the season. Is there anything else you're going to be taking forward to into the rest of the season? Obviously, it's a long season to go. It won't finish until October, November time now. We're only just getting started.
I think continuing to be careful of accidents ahead, because there were a lot of crashes in that race, and I think the only reason I managed to finish in the position I did was because I managed to avoid a lot of the wrecks.
And obviously, before we let you go, who would you like to thank today, Ryan?
I would like to thank my own league, the IndyCar Championship, who we have actually entered an official team in here thanks to Robert. And also a big thanks to Robert and Lucas for running. And this league is excellent. I'm super glad that I joined this league because it's really well run.
And there we go, ladies and gentlemen, your 12th place finisher today, Ryan Hellier. Back to you, Will.
Yeah, and we've got a couple of people yet to talk to. Tyler Vickery, we're going to have a chat with him right now. And while Tyler, it's not necessarily been in terms of positions where you wanted to be here today, but talk us through your events.
It was decent. Granted, there was an interesting start with being in the back. I was kind of really hoping for a top 10 based on how my pit strategies were. I was just more trying to avoid the carnage and just make it to the end. Unfortunately, with around 8 minutes ago, I got caught up in that accident. And kind of really frustrates me, but I got Sebring, so hopefully I can run better there.
How hard was it to do this race to time compared to the laps in terms of your strategy?
It caught me off guard at first, but knowing how many people we had, which compared to last season was a lot, this was a big race compared to last year. I kind of had to adjust on the fly, and it almost worked out. I think I can definitely say I had too much fuel, but having an opportunity for a top 5 in the end, that's at least, it was a good chance there.
Tyler Vickery coming in then in P number 25. We've got ourselves Ryan Hellier as well here. In fact, no, we don't. He's gone. So in that case, going to hand it back over to Jack, and he is with Ben Gregory.
Well, Ben, you had a strong qualifying, probably better than you expected. You started 5th, and obviously, just take us through what happened at the start from your view.
The initial start, all the cars ahead, it just went right. It was slightly terrifying, and I think with everyone starting first gear, it was a bit scary. I had to lift off a bit. As soon as I saw the cars crash, I started lifting off as well. But yeah, there's at least jumped me a few positions, but the rest of the race was a bit of a helter-skelter, I will have to say.
And the race overall, any lessons you're going to take forward into the rest of the season?
Don't start in first gear, which will definitely be one.
Oh, no, stop. You can start in first gear. Set your first gear up properly and you'll be fine.
Yeah, this is true. Yeah, I should do that. No, I think everyone's a bit more room with some people I have found on track. I do need to give a bit more space to, because there were a few people who did worry me, but I think everyone was racing with a lot of respect, and we can really push each other really hard. It was some of the best racing I've done in IndyCar for a long, long time.
Very quickly before you let you go, who would you like to thank today?
Well, Henry Bennett for giving me a bit of setup help and just pointing me in the right direction, and giving me some amazing races. Michaela as well for some of the best fights I've had in the car. Team Fitstar as well, it's always helped. And Robert and Lucas for setting up this bloody league. It's amazing.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be... He finished quite a way down in your pack, but he was running up towards the front for quite a long time. That is Ben Gregory. Back to you, Will. I believe we have one more.
Do we? Yeah, we've got Tyler Vickery, and he's here on Racesport TV and on iRacing Live. Tyler, how was your race?
It was good. I think you asked me about it earlier, but I ain't complaining. I'm just more focused on Sebring now. I'm kind of getting ready to just push this race aside after having a good opportunity for a top 10. So, yeah, I wrong place, wrong time there at the end, but happens.
Who do you want to give a shout out to?
I just want to shout out to our sponsors, PH Awareness, Ride to Give, Pasky Lug Nuts, and then podcast for Thor's Kin. And that's practically it. I got to thank the rest of the guys for my phenomenal Evolution Motorsports as well.
And thank you very much to Tyler Vickery. Well, the thing is, Jack, is that I'm, as you know, a long-term member of the IndyCar community. And one thing I want to say from people today is go to your gear settings and go to drop gears and put it as high as you can. Because I've seen this before, Ludicrous Speed. We talked about this off air. They had a free car spin down at Texas Motor Speedway once. I've done it. First ever pole position I got, I looped it at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. That drop gear is really important.
You've got to get that gearing right just to get those restarts right, and I think a lot of drivers proved today that maybe they didn't have it right, and they're going to take that forward for the rest of the season. So I think today has been a very big learning curve for a lot of the drivers on the field and in the grid today, and I think it's just going to be one of those things taken forward and just learning ready for Sebring in a few weeks' time.
Today's broadcast has been brought to you by Logical Innovative Engineering. And again, we love the fact that Logical are a part of the Classic IndyCar series, of course. They're also a title sponsor for the Vortex Sim Racing cars here, Jack. But it's great to have them on board for this entire series and the entire races here on Racesport TV.
They do such a good job for the series, and they definitely do a good job as well for the iRacing community. They do have a good range of products, and I believe they do motion sims. They've also got some little Formula 1 style dashes as well, which aren't too expensive, so definitely go and check out Logical. They do make some good products, and I'm pretty sure that their owner will come to be beaming at the sponsor shout-outs that we've done for them today. Yeah, indeed, that's all we've got time for here tonight, here on Racesport TV and on iRacing Live. It is the opening round of the Classic IndyCar Series in the books. We'll see you at Sebring in a couple of weeks' time. Wilmington, Jack Stars. Before we go, shout out to our friends, of course. It's all about TrackCam22.com and One Design and Andres Warner. Simon Grossman, Aptioneer.in for our overlay animation and live timing by Nick Thisson for Racesport TV, live timing and scoring. That's it then. We say farewell from Homestead Miami Speedway. Next time out, we stay in Florida, and that'll be at Sebring International Raceway. Good night from Homestead.